Hello everyone, welcome to Rich's Garage. As you can see, we have the AMT Flatbed trailer. So I recently built the Revell Peterbilt 359 tractor, and that was my first vehicle model in I don't know, probably about 35 years. And probably one of the reasons why I didn't build more vehicle models, I predominantly built train models, is because of AMT. As a kid, I would put them together, or try to put them together, and the fit and finish would always leave something to be desired. Now, granted, my skills were nowhere near what they are now. The tools I used, right, were all primitive. You squeeze out the tester's tube of glue and make a mess of everything. I'd paint with a brush, that type of stuff. But I always thought that it was me and not so much the model that was giving me difficulties. So I figured, okay, let me get I want this flatbed. I'd never built this one before, to go with the tractor. And lo and behold, as I started to fit some stuff together, I realized that, you know what, it's really the kit. So I want to show you some stuff that I found, and then we'll go from there and see how I can work around it. So let's take a quick look. So it's a pretty basic kit, right? There's not a lot that's going on with this kit. So first off, I'm going to move the box out of the way. Let me get out some pieces I put together already. So what the kit has you put together first, the wheels, which I didn't because I'm going to paint them, are the rails for the sliding tandems. And something to be careful about is when you glue these halves together. So this is one half, and here's the other half, right? Is you want to make sure that these are pretty parallel. You don't want to pinch these so that your rails are basically a V, right? You want to keep them parallel to each other. And it takes a little bit of care in doing that, because the spacing isn't going to be equal throughout, is what I found. There's a lot of little cleanup in here, a little filing I had to do to get this to actually sit, because there was some flashing on the spring that would keep it splayed out. So you gotta take your time, and actually, if you look really close, you'll see that this one, well, we may or may not be able to see, actually isn't quite touching the spring because it was a little bit narrower than the other side. So as a kid, you're trying to say, okay, yeah, it's got to press together tight and all that, and if you do that, you wind up screwing it up. The next thing that I found, I had done, put together a couple of the van trailers, and I never got the tandems to slide right. They'd fall off the rails and stuff like that. So again, I just thought it was me. But if you put these together, let's see if I can just dry fit these. Let's do this way. Now let's see, this goes facing out. What you find is that these, at least on this particular one, these two will fit and square up pretty nice. As far as spacing to the other set of rails. So I'm just roughing this in. Right. So you want to keep this assembly as parallel as possible. What I find is now, if I go to put this piece in, this rear cross member, and one side is very subtle, but one side is actually wider than the other. I don't know if you can get a good little, maybe not so well, but you can see just on the edge there. Even with that, it doesn't completely fit. It's a little bit short. It's a touch short. So if you go in, as a kid, right, natural instinct is this has got to be in. What you wind up doing is pinching this in like this, and now it's not going to slide smoothly. So I'm going to take a different approach. Rather than assemble this piece, what I'm going to do is put the rails on the bottom and set this, making sure that these are perpendicular to the floor, completely parallel to each other. And then once this is set, then I'll put these on the rails and make sure that they're going to slide properly, and then tack these in and know that it's square and it should slide. So I'll take a little break, get the parts out and all that, and then we'll start with the rails. Okay, so I've gotten the parts out, and this is the rear of the floor, and I'm basing that on looking at the directions. They have the rear cap, and here are the nubs where the hose lines for the brake lines are going to attach. So here these are, counted these against the instructions, so this is the rear. What I want to do is, I may not glue it, but I just want to set the rear cap, and then I'll set the rails and just make sure that I'm square over here to get a feel for how far back this is supposed to go. Let's get this guy off here. So the other thing I noticed with this floor is that the floor is a little tweaked. It's not perfectly square. So part of the thing that I want to do is get this in, clamp it, and then use some weight and do it in spots with the liquid cement to see if I get this to square. But these guys overhang. Now I don't know if they're supposed to. Let's take a look here. They show it as being flush. Alright, so if that's flush, that was two. It says it's got a hook over there, right? That's got to go that way. That should go like that. And that would give me my alignment there. Okay. So what I want to make sure when I glue this is I don't get this type of a thing, because you can certainly glue it and it's pitched in. So we're going to want to make sure that this is squared up, and I'll probably fit the front piece as well to make sure I got that right. So I'm going to do a little cleaning up on these pieces. I'm going to cut out the other piece and then try and lay it out, and then I'll show you when I glue this. Alright, see you later.